Good morning, everyone. Call the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda. Second. Okay, been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes of February 27th, 2024 board meeting. Approved. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Before we go on, we have a couple visitors here today that like to talk to us in regards to the Avenue of Flags that was done at Eldon, correct?
I'm Marvin Creech from Eldon. In regards to the Avenue of Flag, we've been working that over. We've had it down there for 34 years, 4th of July. And 34 years, it's got beaten battered pretty bad. So we decided to redo it. And you guys helped us, and we appreciate what you did. And we've got something here we wanted to give you. You can display it or in your supervisor's office or whatever you desire. And we made some of these and they sold them as a fundraiser. Yeah, we've still got some. And we still sell some if somebody's interested. Yeah. Put that on and go. It's praying soldier.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all your guys' work on projects like this around the county.
Right. We appreciate your help in getting it done, and we just about got her there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we come down here and shake your hand. Thank you.
right now,
Very much appreciated.
for you.
I'm Darren.
Back,
Yep.
we related to the Madison from Eldon.
Oh, yeah. Carl with my grandpa.
I'm now Duck. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll leave it set right there. You can take it from there and do what you want with it.
Appreciate it. And then you said you still have some of those for sale for fundraisers?
Right.
Correct.
We sold them for $75 each.
And how would someone contact, or who would they contact about if they wanted to purchase or even donate to the project?
You can contact me at, I'll give you my phone number,
Okay.
641-777-6562. Or you can,
Would City Hall, would they have contact information for anything with this, or in Eldon?
good, maybe yes and no. I don't know for sure what.
Well, we'll try to get the word out on some of that and
I appreciate
maybe help raise some more money.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys.
You're welcome, and we thank you for your help.
Well, we're happy to do it.
Thanks, Marvin.
Yeah.
Item number 3, setting date for a public hearing on proposed property tax levy notice. And this is just the strictly just setting the date on it, and once we have that meeting, that locks us into the property tax levies as they're set. They can go down, but they can't go up over what they are once we have that meeting.
April 2nd.
Right, and we'll have two meetings that day. We'll have a meeting just for the proposed property tax levy, because that has to be held on its separate agenda and separate meeting. So that'll be at 9:30, and we thought maybe 10 o'clock for the regular meeting. We'll be following that on the same day.
Motion to approve that.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4, transfer fund from general supplemental to the health fund. Starting to do this a little bit too often. But this is just money to go from, so we pay our insurance bills and premiums.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5, John Berger from Center Township would like to discuss fence viewing.
That's me.
Yep.
Um. Yeah, I don't know if I've met you or not.
I've not.
I'm a Center Township trustee
Okay.
and also Jerry Angle is here. He's a trustee and we were asked, we're Center Township trustees, but due to a conflict of interest, we were asked to view some fences in Green Township. I don't know if you guys are all aware of that. Anyhow, we viewed that property around the 15th and 19th of November. We found some issues with the fence line out there. And we're here because we understand that the issues have not been communicated and the fence line process to get this fixed is not being followed. Now, originally, we were just asked to view the fence. And if that's all it is, maybe we need to be relieved from this. But as trustees to the public, we take this responsibility seriously. This is a serious thing for animals to continue to get out on the road. We had animals, as I understand it, out on the road last Saturday. And the other thing that is important here is that this is not just one landowner. This is a big chunk of property and there's multiple landowners. So just simply taking the cows off of one piece of property does not solve your problem. You have multiple landowners involved. And so I'm a little concerned about this, you know, as a trustee. And like I say, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. Maybe we need to be dismissed from this, but I'd like it to be publicly if that's the case. And if not, we need to follow up with the process. We need to have, first of all, letters sent out to the rest of the landowners discussing our viewings. And, you know, the landowner is supposed to have a chance to take care of that issue himself. This should have been done within 30 days after the viewing. And that was last November and cows are still getting out. So we're, let's see. Also, we need to be, our communication process has at times involved emails from the county attorney's office. We need to have faster communication than emails. I would request, you know, phone calls. And I don't know if a representative's here from the county attorney office or not, but. Okay, yeah. So we need to have phone calls, not emails, because sometimes we don't get, the last one was what, three weeks to get an email, and it was, you know, per our trustee process, it's supposed to be 30 days to get these fences fixed. And I'm here because I don't want to have a, you know, an accident with somebody hitting an animal on the road, because here we are involved in a legal process back from November and nothing's fixed yet, you know. So I wanted to raise this issue with you guys. We need to follow the process. I think we got the cart a little bit ahead of the horse here. You know, there should have been a letter sent to us to engage us with this. We just kind of, I guess, went on some phone calls and conversations that we had to get involved. What else? There has been a previous history, as I understand. There was the Green Township trustees have met in the past, and 2 or more years ago, this has been an ongoing problem out there. And like I say, as a public service representative, I'd like to see it get fixed pretty passionately. So did you want to add anything, Jerry, and talk a little more?
Any clarification if there's a question?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's what I would like from the county attorney's office as far as a bullet point of, what actually needs done, because as it goes through the process, the township trustees are the fence viewers, they're the fence issues. What do we have as grounds as supervisors to hurry this along, to get the matters taken care of?
The way the statute's written, essentially, my understanding has always been that the trustees send the letters, pretty much handle the process. If there is a legal challenge, then I represent the county in that legal challenge. But you're right. Communication, obviously, I'll be honest with you, I was under the impression you guys had handled the letter aspect. Clearly, that's not the case. So.
we were
we'll
just
need
asked to
talk
view
more.
it. Yeah,
And granted, once, like you said, a letter, I think would have probably more clearly delineated y'all's, I guess, responsibilities on that. Because, yeah, once you become the viewer, you also become essentially almost the court
you are, yeah.
for that purpose. So essentially making the determination and doing the fence viewing, it goes a little bit beyond that. But yeah, we'll have to talk more. Frankly, I'm not even aware of the 2-year Green Township meeting that you're discussing.
Supposedly we have minutes from that.
Took place at the rural fire department.
And a letter was sent to said landowner.
Okay,
That's my understanding, and John I just told him this morning about the meeting in Green Township a few years ago.
No, I'm aware I think there's been a habitual trespass issue that's been going on for a long time, if I understand correctly.
And I don't think it's a legal problem with the procedure that we just, like you said, the cart might be a little bit ahead of the horse. In
Yep.
that we have to, go ahead and finish this thing out, but.
Clear
I don't-
instruction on how to do that.
I'll be brutally honest this morning. I visited with the auditor this morning and there have been 2 occasions where we had a clerk come in and it was our understanding it was gonna be a replacement for our clerk who has issues as far as not conflict, but her workload. And there was a misunderstanding there, so we scared her off. And then I visited with the auditor this morning and again, I'll be brutally honest that there's been no communication of this case, if you want to call it that, which it is. This is the first communication we have had, and I'm barking up the wrong tree. Sorry. Yeah, so we want I guess we're looking for the go-ahead. There was confusion whether it was going to be just a viewing or whether it was going to be a completed case. And some think that it was a viewing, which didn't work 2 years ago. And so my feeling was that at the onset, it was going to be a case by case with each
Landowner.
with each adjoining landowner and then to its completion. Whatever the decision was with the fence viewers, that was what I call a completion. And, I guess we're looking for direction and clarification or somebody to say, yes, that's the way we wanted it to begin with. We want a start to finish fencing, just like it says in the code. So,
but since we didn't typically the process is initiated by a landowner, and then through that letter, the legal process gets started. And I don't think that was the case this time.
I think a landowner or a legal authority is what the code says. I think that the fact that they're getting onto the public roadway and stuff, and that I think you were contacted by the board, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ruben, but I think it says landowner or legal authority. So the fact that they're not only habitually trespassing on neighbors' property, they're also on the roadway. And so I think either one works. So I think if you're contacted by local authority or the supervisor's office to look at this, I think you're good, is how I read it.
Well, I don't feel like we got something in writing
We
to
might
start
I
have-
this
think it was all
process.
just over the phone. I think it was all just.
Right.
I don't think there was ever-
My concern is that we don't have something in writing here to engage this process. We went ahead and did the viewing as requested, but now where does the responsibility stop? And we maybe need, like you said, maybe a little more clarification there. But, you know, if we have indeed, you know, as the Center Township trustees, if we've completed this for you guys, then we need to know that. But if it, you know, with cows getting out last Saturday, I don't think it's complete yet, you know, and if that's the case, then, you know, we need a commitment from a clerk to send these letters out to landowners so that we can continue with the process to getting this fixed.
I would say I'm not, again, to be brutally honest, but when I read 359, that it says it has to be a written request by an adjacent landowner.
And I know that there is one that was sent to me by one of the supervisors.
Okay,
Clearly, probably have to sit down and go through everything and figure out what I know, what you guys know.
there you go.
If the roadway is part of the boundary, though, wouldn't adjacent landowner be the county?
Yeah.
So I mean, that would qualify either way.
Yeah.
But either way, I can probably figure out how to get all that squared away paperwork wise. I think part of the issue is that we've all kind of not spoken directly and bounced through other folks. And that's created some confusion. Like I said, I was under the impression you guys were retained to complete the process. That being said, apparently might have been done by phone call, which leads to, you know, a game of telephone.
Well, we understood specifically from our clerk, our responsibility was only to view it. And that was it. You're
Right.
just being brought in as fence line viewers. The problem is that the cows are still getting out and nothing's been done.
No, understandable. Frankly, once we're done here, we can go back to my office. I'll walk you through everything and try to drop some paperwork pretty quickly.
As you can tell, our clerk for one thing, and John for another, were totally set that it was gonna be a viewing on.
Yeah.
And we argued about this at our meeting too.
Yeah.
And I thought initially it was gonna be a start to finish case. And we need that, he needs that, the clerk needs that. And then we need to gather our team and go ahead and do what needs to be done.
Well, the landowners have a chance to make changes, and then if they refuse, then
That's,
we can make changes to get things like they need to be. So,
no, it sounds like, yeah, it's just like it kind of mentioned, you guys kind of become the court. And then if there's an appeal from that, then it goes to district court. But other than that,
Right. Any
So-
questions on your part?
No, I would say work through everything with it. Again, my apologies. I mean, we, like I said, started this in November and we all want it taken care of for.
so
a
you
lot of
want us
different
to
reasons.
continue on
Yes,
to finish?
that's my opinion.
Cause, you
that's
know,
what been my understanding from supervisors.
And you didn't scare the
So I can take
secretary
it back
off.
and-
She'll still do the clerking. All she does is takes the minutes for you.
The last I visited with our clerk,
I meant the one you thought you scared off, and she'll still do it.
from Eldon, But she's not a Wapello County employee, I don't think.
Yeah, how's that happen with
Has to be a
liability?
county employee.
Huh?
It has to be a county employee.
Well, liability wise.
Yeah, because she's gonna be sending official letters on behalf of the
We can
county.
Still have the letter sent out to the auditor like for the viewing. Because the letters for the viewing went out through the auditor.
Yeah,
Does
So
she
we just
have to be
subcontract her as a
employee, or just a letter of understanding or something?
She doesn't have to be an employee, that being said. We'll pretty much probably, just to get it done, I'll probably try to draw everything I can in one shot. And walk you guys through what I'm doing with that.
okay,
She was pretty overwhelmed to start with
yeah,
when she came to our meeting, so.
Well, and I'll bring this fence viewings, so typically get this far, just because typically get handled on the front,
Okay.
by the landowners.
And then, I guess I conveyed this, that we need, information from Green Township as far as, what requests have been made. We know by word of mouth what happened, but we don't have anything, that's gotta be part of the case.
I think Nick Biggs and Vicky Baum have the notes, the recordings.
I don't know that I'm high enough level to ask for that. I think it has to come from
Can you
someone.
get that from her, Don?
Yeah, I have a copy of the letter. It's not signed by Vicky or Nick, but I have a copy of the letter that was sent out to the landowner.
okay, I think that'd be helpful.
I'll give you.
Okay,
Okay, and I guess just familiarize ourselves with what.
Yeah, whatever you need, anything we can help with you on that. I mean, it's all open record type stuff. So I mean, whatever you guys need with that through Ruben, myself,
And
whoever.
then Don, maybe you come with me too, just since you have some of that stuff and I can talk with you. I know you know these folks a little better, the different townships than I do.
I just didn't think would be proper for me to ask for them.
No, that's fine.
yeah,
I get the. I get the concern.
Protective of records, so.
okay. We'll have so it sounds like we're getting the go ahead here, if I'm understanding it right. And we'll get our background information and then we'll get in touch with the clerk and she'll send out letters to the landowners and then we'll proceed to see if we can get these fences fixed.
He also has the contact information for the Iowa State fencing attorney,
Okay,
so you get that from him too.
Mark Wallen,
No.
that's who I've been dealing with.
Is that
He's the AG's rep.
He's for the farm division.
Yes,
Funny enough, I just sent him an email, but haven't called.
okay.
thank you.
Yep, anything else you need from us, work through Ruben, Don,
Gotcha.
anything we can do to help it expedite it, get taken care of, let us know.
This is the bill for our viewing.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is gonna involve it's gonna be a pretty big project. I just wanted to communicate that.
So it took a few days to walk it, didn't it?
2 days, yeah, and we walked every foot through, through the brush and the unmaintained fence line. So we looked at every foot of it.
Well, we appreciate it, and like you said, anything else we can do to help.
Okay.
So,
I'm done if you're done.
Yep,
any other questions?
I think
or
we got
anything?
some direction here and I appreciate that. So thanks for your time.
I appreciate your time also for taking time to follow up with it.
Okay.
All right,
Just be respectful of y'all's time. I can go with them now. That way you don't have to hang back for other stuff.
Oh, okay, or we can come back. We can meet you. Oh.
I know, we sent some letter out.
thank you guys.
Yep, you bet.
Yeah.
Item number 6, approval of retirement benefit package. Darren, you want to take this? You've kind of been the lead on it.
So we put a retirement package back in for Wapello County employees. They have to qualify for it. Terms and conditions are 35 years, they get 90% of their insurance paid. 30 years, 80%, 25 years, 70%, 20 years, 60%. They have to be a member in good standing, employee of good standing when they retire. They gotta follow the IFRS process and be IFRS qualified to retire, collect this plan, so. There's an extensive list, checklist form to go through. But it's finally something in the works to help people get out the door, so. And I have copies, if anybody wants to see a copy sometime, once I get my printer works, I can email you a copy.
I can email one out to all the department heads because I have it on my computer.
The dates we set on it are. April 1st, be the first day you can apply. And September 1st be the last day. So you have to be either signed up within those dates.
And this is somewhat similar to what the school district does, as far as their early retirement package. Any questions?
Would like to move to approve. Second.
Any further discussion, questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2024 ICAP anniversary rating supplemental. Colleen, do you have anything?
No, I delivered that to Kelly. It was sent out to all the department heads, so we're just waiting on the information to come back. So we can get the rating under it.
Motion?
Motion.
Approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 15, 2024 military disallowance for 2023, payable 24-25. Kelly, anything to add?
No, we just had a couple that was disallowed by the assessor's office, so we'll send out letters to them after this is approved.
I'll move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 14, 2024 homestead disallowances for 23, payable 24-25. Same, Kelly?
This is, yeah, along the same line. We had, I think there was one that they signed up, but then they sold the property before July 1st of 23. And then we had a couple that was disapproved by the assessor.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 13, 2024 secondary roads quarterly transfer. This is what it says. This is just our transfer into the secondary roads department.
I'll move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Liquor license for Rocket Investments LLC for Rocket Fuels and Food Mart, April 1, 24 to March 31 of 25. Standard liquor license for Rocket Fuels.
I'll move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of construction plans, Bridge 138 on 200th Avenue over Brush Creek.
We're replacing the bridge on 200th Avenue over Brush Creek, down southwest town, southeast of Blacksburg, on a low volume road, low volume gravel road. The bridge has less than 3 years of remaining life left.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 13, Wapello County Supervisors authorize Wapello County Conservation to use the general Wapello County Unique Entity Federal ID. And what this is, my understanding is just giving conservation permission for them to use our federal ID to obtain the Destination Iowa funds and continue on with the project in Pioneer.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 14, approval of construction plans FY 24 contract rock haul.
This is our annual rock haul project. I think it's 30th Street, Lake Road, and can't remember the other road off the top of my head, I'm sorry. We typically contract out at least some miles every year.
Ashland Road. Is that the other one?
Yes, Ashland.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Recorder's copier maintenance contract. This standard contract in Lisa's office, just a yearly maintenance contract.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 16, Wapello County burial policy. This is another policy that's been in the works for quite some time. I'd say there hasn't been any changes in the burial policy for Wapello County since 2007. I went out and met with Bill Reese in about September over this. We've paid again for the last 17, 18 years, $1,200 for a funeral. He requested to go to $1,640. Just normal inflationary costs and what they have to go through along with actual mileage. Different things sometimes you don't think about. There's a lot of people being transferred out of Wapello County, out of the Ottumwa Hospital. They're going to Iowa City, they're going to Des Moines. If they pass, it's the county's responsibility or the family's responsibility. In a case of their income levels or if they're indigent or whatever it may be, it's the county's responsibility. Therefore, Reese's has seen several more trips out of town to pick up the deceased. So this really just brings the policy somewhat more in line and gets it to a point where Reese's ain't losing money on doing county burials. It's, again, pretty much from everything that we got from Bill, this is a break even, maybe even, a little less than what it actually costs them, but. So this just puts the new policy into effect and raises it to 1640 plus mileage.
Motion to approve it. Clarification, what mileage rate?
245.
Okay, we need to put that in the motion, is that correct?
It's already
It's
in
in
the
there.
agreement. I wrote it in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I'll second it.
Any questions?
I just like to state for the mileage, in case you're wondering why mileage, with the condition of the circumstances of the Ottumwa Hospital, he's picking up a lot more bodies in Des Moines and Iowa City because they, as you know, they send most of the critical care out. So he's increased his mileage a lot.
And to go from a federal standard mileage of 67 cents to the 245, it has to be a licensed funeral director or someone licensed by the state to pick the bodies, to pick a non-embalmed body up. So this is the mileage includes the cost of their person transferring. Moved and seconded.
Yep.
You have something else?
Yeah, that was it.
Yep. All right. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 17, request for payroll approval, new hire correctional officer in the sheriff's office. It's just to fill a vacancy.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business to come before the board?
Well, I'd like to talk about an extension on our property. Time extension, if we could.
Well, on Copperhead. 11458. It was
We've been working on it, it's just when it snows and rains, it's hard to get in and out of there, out the driveway. We've been taking stuff to the dump and getting rid of the cars out there. It's just a slow process.
How much have you got done in the time allotted? Cause we did have some major snow. And we had some rain, but we've had a lot of dry areas.
But we couldn't get out of the driveway, we brought stuff up out the back when we cleaned up by the house.
We went from 35 cars down to 20.
But now,
We've been taking, people have been sneaking in and dropping trash on us, and we've been taking it to the landfill as much as we can. But it's ready to come down the driveway, they've been dumping it right there.
yeah, in the house I haven't even got through.
Nobody lives there, correct?
Not right now.
At the moment,
I did until 4 years ago. My wife got sick and then she passed away. I was in town with her.
I got shot, so I've been.
It's got stuff out of his house stored in it, and it's got my daughter's stuff stored in the house.
We're the only two working on it.
Are you gonna be available this afternoon?
Yes.
Cause I think talking with Kevin from the department there, he was gonna get a hold of me, get a hold of you and come out and look at it this afternoon, see what progress you made.
I get it cleaned up by the house, and I know they've been there. I've seen their four-wheeler tracks where they went down. And then I bring stuff up from the back down on the hillside where I can't get, when it was muddy and real slick.
So this afternoon, then,
Beside the driveway.
Yeah, he just called me yesterday to see about coming out and doing it with you, so.
all right, did
And
you
your
my number?
deadline's today, right?
Huh?
Your deadline's today?
I don't know, it was 180
Isn't it, Jeff?
days ago.
I think it's today.
If my math was correct, it is today.
And, do you need my number or?
Yeah, I think Kevin has it, so,
And I had a message from you
Yeah.
last
yeah.
night, so,
yep, so we're planning on getting a hold of you, come out this afternoon. So.
Okay,
yeah, then we'll let you know.
all right, thank you.
All right. All right, we have a closed session. Oh, sorry. Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
I'm Jeff Bosley. I live at 9195 205th Avenue, Blacksburg. I've spoke to several people in this room regarding the property across from me. It was brought to the county's attention in 2020 that there was no working septic system. To this day, there is still no working septic system. The property was tagged and condemned last fall. Do you know the date off the top of your head? I believe in November, October and November. The property was just, the tag was removed last week
Thursday, Friday.
without a working septic system. I don't quite comprehend that. I purchased a property, built a new house. Wapello County set the standards of what I had to have for a septic tank. Had to sign off on it.
The septic system was working, but I didn't find out till afterwards, had passed inspection, so. System is up and working, the pump works.
According
water in it. It's
to our previous conversation before last night, you told me it was not considered a working septic system until there was running water to it. And I commented that that wasn't going to happen.
runs through the toilet. They just carry underwater.
They carry the water in a bucket to flush the toilet. You told me it had to be running water. That's why I'm here, because you tell me one thing and then you do something different. I want this on record. The system is not functioning without running water.
It's covered up before, but I didn't know that till afterwards.
So-
I got an email from Jeff.
Okay, so they didn't follow the rules that everybody else in Wapello County follows as far as the septic system.
But once again,
It was buried without being inspected. So how are you addressing that?
the septic system.
It was not inspected before it was buried. That is a requirement.
Will be addressed, just like your HUD thing was, so. I've already got a call into the state about your HUD, so.
So is that a fact that it has to be inspected by a HUD inspector before the condemnation comes off of it?
Applies when it's on a lot, it's off the lot, no longer applies. So if you sold,
See, that's misinformed. That's information that I was told by the county that it now I'm being told is not correct.
That they don't have to have HUD compliant?
I was told by the county that it had to be inspected and signed off by a licensed HUD inspector, being that it is a trailer house. And that it could not be brought up to HUD standards.
Told you that, or where'd that come from, so. But like I said, you asked me to check on it, I put a call into the state, I actually showed Mr. Morgan the card of the guy I called, so I'm just waiting on his information back, so.
You also promised me very clearly that they were done negatively affecting my property value. Have you you were out there just last week. Now, come on.
There's no way I can tell you that they're done affecting anybody's property value. How the hell would I tell you that?
Okay, the 180 days that you give them, which is up, excuse me,
This is where you only listen to what you want to hear instead of what the total package was. It's like day one, when you file complaints on these people, our goal up here as supervisors is not to remove them from their property. Your goal was you want their property.
no, I don't want their property.
That's what you told me.
I don't want their
You
property.
said you want them off so you can get it.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, not by us. We're not gonna kick them off their property.
Well, that's obvious. You let them
They-
live in a condemned property
they can
without
live.
any septic since
We
2020.
control How people live.
If you don't follow the laws, you do. If you do your job, if you do your job.
Control how people live. I can't tell anybody in here how to dress, how to bathe, how many times they take a shower. That's not up to us.
Did you or did you not tell me what I had to follow in order to live in my new home? As far as septic system,
I ain't telling you anything,
Wapello County did.
so
Wapello County did.
I never met you.
So you're
before.
playing the word game again. You've done that since the first time we spoke.
Okay, all right, let's get back to what is, and Jeff, you've been involved with this from the get-go also.
Yep.
So, the septic system.
Yep.
What needs done?
Number one, that would be under Kevin. It is to my knowledge that it has been buried without an inspection. It is my understanding from the DNR that to be in full compliance, an inspection does need to be done, and it needs to be under and looked at before the county can sign off on it for the DNR. That is my level of knowledge. And it could be, the DNR will, this is all DNR code and we have to follow their code. They can supersede. They can tell me, I'm just trying to reiterate what my understanding is.
So now was DNR out there in the last week or so?
Were they with you?
They were not with me, but there was an email that they were there, so.
I just know I have been receiving emails from Kurt at District 6 regarding what our status is with the property. I know they have been on site. I've never been on site with DNR. I've only been on site twice throughout this process, I believe.
So when we met with them in here, we told them they couldn't live in the camper, in the trailer, correct? Is that right?
They were staying
Until they got,
they were in a camper on the neighbor's property.
But I brought it to your attention, I brought it to Don Phillips's attention, and I brought it to Kevin's attention. They never lived in that camper. They never stayed in that camper. They never used that camper. There was snow drifts 4 foot high to both doors for weeks. You guys were quite aware of the fact that they were living in the condemned property without a septic system. This has gone on since 2020. So why does everybody else in Wapello County have to abide by the septic laws? Why, how can you take the condemnation off of the house if there's not a working septic system?
I already explained it to you, so.
Jeff, is that correct? That it can be uncondemned by taking water in to the toilet?
I know, I believe I've been informed that to have running water, you do not have to have water pumped to the house. You can be potable. Potable water is an approved source, whether you carry it in gallon jugs from the grocery store or sand points.
So
Wells.
if the septic hadn't been inspected, how do you take the condemnation off the house?
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
That's more in line with what the building inspectors, that's their kind of forte.
Yeah, that list of stuff we gave him that day in the meeting, that's what Kevin had was a list. Kevin checked off the list of stuff to be done. That's why he removed the placard. Stuff on the trailer that was put to be completed was done. The whole floor is fixed, electric was fixed,
And that,
filters were put in.
so on the 180 days that was given to him to correct all these problems and the buildings that are falling down in that, have you seen the buildings in the front yard that are right directly
They
across
still
from my
have a
driveway?
Follow-up inspection in June. Right to the property.
So there was an extension given when you told me very clearly there would
They
be
were given an
no
extension.
extensions,
They
period.
cleaned up the property.
So what's the new date? Well, if there was an extension given, wouldn't there be
Kevin would have that.
okay? So is Kevin allowed to speak to me? Because at one point Kevin was instructed not to speak to me.
Sure. I don't know why he was instructed not to.
Okay. So does anybody care to address why we allowed them to live in the condemned property?
Bill's probably already told you, we don't have county law on that, and I covered this on the phone with you already, we don't have an ordinance. The city has an ordinance for placard dwellings, the county does not.
State of Iowa does, I believe. And the state of Iowa is minimum. The county and the city can add to
So if
the
somebody's
minimum, the state
not
minimum.
supposed to be in the building, that's law enforcement. And they can do what they need to do, that's their discretion, not ours. So you addressed your concern from Mr. Phillips already, right?
Got no real response, just that he wasn't going to enforce it. He stated to me that he was not going to kick somebody off their own property.
We weren't privy to any of that conversation, so I don't.
I had a conversation with you, I had a conversation with Kevin, and I had a conversation with Jeff.
And the same thing, the only conversation I had with you was last fall.
We had a couple conversations and then you got very nasty with me and told me that you was tired of the phone calls. So your phone calls quit. Mr. Ziegler told me that he was instructed to send all my questions and concerns to you. I called Mr. Morgan and asked Mr. Morgan if he was instructed the same way, that he was not to speak to me.
And I said,
No, that you could speak to whoever you wanted, that you was an elected official. But when you tell me you're tired of the phone calls and you got your attitude going with me and that's when I started with Jeff. We have not followed any of the laws. We've just allowed it all to slide by since 2020.
do you get the new date for Mr. Bosley of what they're, and then follow up with us, include us in on when the septic's gonna be inspected, when they're gonna dig the septic back up?
Yep.
To be inspected?
Yep.
And the legality of whether that should be condemned or not.
Kevin was supposed to be setting up a meeting with the DNR already.
But I just find it kind of interesting that every time I'm told something, I find out a month later that it wasn't correct information. I was told by Jeff's office that because it was a mobile home, it had to be inspected and signed off before they could take the condemnation off by a licensed HUD inspector. That come from Jeff's office. It was you and Kevin. Who's the HUD inspector?
I'm not an inspector, I'm not a HUD. You asked me a question, this is the last time.
And I'm not getting the
You
response,
continually just ask the same thing.
because I'm not getting the response,
You're getting the only response you're gonna get. I called
He's
somebody.
checked with HUD.
but nobody's got back.
Well, then what am I supposed to tell you?
Nobody's got back to me.
They haven't got back to me. That's what you were just told. I have a call into him When he calls me back, I will let you know what the rules are in HUD. I don't know. I called the city department, they don't know. They've never heard of it after it left the lot.
Okay, well, like I said, every time I get information from you guys, it minus you. You shot me straight from the beginning. But from everybody else, I get told one thing and then something opposite happens.
We'll follow up on that.
Max, did you want to address the fire issue?
Thing I got is a ditch full of tire. They dump it, washed down.
Yours is,
One cleaned up,
your ditch is to the southwest of theirs.
south of there.
Yep. And the sheriff deputy and I looked at the ditch and instructed him, we had to get all those tires out of your ditch. Their concern was trespassing. I said, I don't think he'll care if you go on his property.
I
Get
give
tires.
everybody that I've had the DNR there, I've had the county there, anybody wants to go back there anytime they want.
Well, they were instructed to get the tires out of your ditch, so.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Got a couple piles up by the house, it's very big, but I could walk, I just gathered that.
By the way, DNR stated that there will be records of proper disposal of those tires.
Back to the green
Yep.
fencing deal, what's the clarification on how that's getting fixed? As far as owners, not adjoining land that, got cows and. Cause my land don't border any property that one of your supervisors up there's. All the cows are coming over from him, so I gotta build a fence all the way around my property to keep them out.
Well, if you don't have cows,
I do. every
oh, you
day.
do, and your cows
No, they're
don't,
not mine.
but you don't have
So
livestock.
now they're stomping on my septic that I just put in, and it's about to be ruined. I've had this conversation with Brian quite a few times, but it's been years now, nothing's getting done, so what's gonna get done?
Well, hopefully what was set forth today as far as getting the fences fixed, we'll settle it. But as far as it getting done today or tomorrow, I don't have an answer.
This guy's from Center, he said it first, and now he's taking over Green. What's he, a contractor or something?
That was right here. So he's a township trustee. So due to a conflict of interest in Green Township, we got with other township trustees to try to get the problem resolved. So yeah, he's just another trustee from a different township.
And then as far as damages go that these cows are causing to other people's properties, that's gonna be a civil matter, but,
I would say that's a civil matter and then,
I mean, if they don't wanna take care of it, as
Right.
they were saying,
right,
I've heard a lot, but not a lot.
Yeah. you know, and I don't know what the law on trespass is or necessarily anything else with that. Maybe that's something that the sheriff can help you out on, or even the county attorney.
You know, I think the guy on board would figure out a better way of dealing with this stuff. So other people don't have a problem.
Do we know how many feet of
Can I
fence
get your
line
name?
this involves? How
John Courtney,
many feet of fence line?
You mean total fence line?
Yeah.
I would just estimate, I would say probably 3 to 4 miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Be pretty accurate.
Is it just fence line that needs to be absolutely new installed, or is it gotta?
It's gonna have to be, in order to put the true boundaries on, probably 75% of it, you're gonna have to have a dozer clearing it so you can access it. And I mean, I've said do the whole thing, his whole property line, and part of it would be neighbors 50% responsibility, but I bet you wouldn't miss $250,000. Very far. It's a lot of fence. And not any of it's any good.
How many properties does it affect?
How many, counting Mr. Ziegler's property and how many other owners?
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say 8, how many? 11.
Brian, do you have anything to add to this at all, since you've been brought up a couple times?
I'd be glad to, but nobody listens to me.
So maybe it doesn't really matter what I say.
Well, I mean, I've heard what you said multiple times over the past year that we've
The whole
we've had
issue
to
will,
come out when I called you at midnight, how many times?
the whole issue will be resolved real soon.
I've heard that before too, though, Brian.
And also, you're right about it's 50% of the fence is responsibility of other landowners.
So it's everybody else's problem to keep your cows. I know.
That's correct, according to Iowa code.
Yeah, but my property sits right in between yours and everybody else's. I'm still getting my property destroyed.
Iowa code says those adjacent landowners to me still are responsible for their fence.
Okay.
Whether
But they're
they
your
have cows or not.
right?
So we'll work through, continue to work through that. You'll be included, anything, information you need, feel free to reach out.
There, something to be. Good fences make good neighbors, but this deal's been going on for so long that fixing it soonly, I've been told that for 5 years. And Brian knows we've had meetings about this for 5 years. The first meeting, the last meeting, we talked about that the guys asked for the meeting for the notes. Brian was a trustee of Green Township at that point. He was at the meeting. And there was also one prior to that, approximately 2 years before that, where Brian was a trustee, Nick Biggs was a trustee, and Corey Black. And he removed himself because I was the neighbor who requested the meeting. And he was a trustee, so he removed himself from it. But Brian knows that there have been 3 total meetings now.
He's also stated that he's hired fencing crews to fix the problem. So I mean, how do neighbors, are neighbors gonna, or the other owners, if you hire your own and you said you're gonna take care of it, why are they gonna bother?
I did not say that I hired a fencing crew. I say
You got your own fencing crew that are going down through fixing fences.
I said
You've done
I
it multiple.
hired another person to assist me with the county.
So as far as where we're at with moving through the township stuff, hopefully we got some direction today, hopefully some things move. Hopefully we have some answers in 30 days, 45 days, whatever it is. And we can put this to rest, so. Feel free to, anything else you guys wanna let Chad know, or you can get numbers or whatever, Chad, and follow up. On any of that, so.
The damages on stuff, as far as that goes, being a civil matter, you just need to pretty much get a lawyer and deal with it that way.
I would make sure everything was documented and pictures, and I think you got videos and stuff like that already, correct? So I think that'd be a good place to start.
And as a good neighbor, no, you don't need an attorney. You just need to send
Like
me
I
the
said,
damages and I'll take care of it.
I've always been cordial with you.
Yes.
Always will try and be, but there's a point to where it starts becoming a problem.
I haven't seen the
Seems
damage
like
request.
you don't listen to it all, you know? And that, maybe that's a conflict of interest, because you're sitting right there too.
So we're gonna, is there any other comments? Jermaine? So we're gonna adjourn this meeting, not really adjourn, but we're gonna go into a closed session. Under Iowa Code Section 21.5, performance review of engineer. So thank you everyone for coming today. Appreciate your time. And hopefully we can get some things taken care of. 43. All right, we'll enter back into an open session at 9:43. Roll call
Brian,
here.
Brian Z,
Here.
Darren,
Here.
Also present, Engineer Jeff Skalberg, Auditor Kelly Spurgeon. And I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.